Good morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock. We've got our next session here. Colleague of mine, I've been working with Trevor Smith for about at least 2 years, right, Trevor? So first we want to do is make sure people understand who you are, because I know who you are. That's not fair. Tell us about yourself, your organization, and thanks again for being at the Open XDR Summit.
Thanks, Steve. Trevor Smith. I'm Executive Vice President with Brite. We are a managed service provider and cybersecurity reseller integrator. We've been working with Stellar Cyber a little over 2 years now, and really happy to be part of the Open XDR Summit.
Thanks a lot, Trevor. And guess what? You're from near my hometown, Buffalo, New York. So it's one of the reasons I liked working with you, man, because you're in Rochester, right? Which is another great city, Western New York, not upstate New York, just for those folks who don't refer to New York right, and it drives me crazy. So anyway, let's dive in. So one of the passions that I know you have, and we shared with your team, is this idea that different businesses have different cybersecurity needs. We think globally and macroscopically about cybersecurity, but you know, healthcare, finance, even manufacturing have different needs. And that's actually not only created a business opportunity for you, but it's why customers are strained right now. They can't find that special talent, right? So tell me a bit about that, Trevor, how you work through that challenge of helping people understand what's needed for them.
Well, I think there's two things you hit on there, right? One is the challenge with compliance that varies by industry, and the other is the shortness or lack of resources that are out there and available. And when you put those two things together, that's where managed service providers can really help our customers, where we're augmenting their staff or giving them a whole team that doesn't have to be just an individual contributor, but can also understand the market, get feedback from multiple different customers, and help apply that to the organizations.
Well, let's pick one and go deep. Pick one that you want. Well, I don't care if it's one of the three I said, but one that's your favorite, Trevor. What's unique about that vertical in terms of compliance or just even the kind of attacks they see?
One I think is kind of unique that isn't talked about a tremendous amount is professional services organizations, right? Everyone talks about healthcare, they talk about industrial, they talk about those with their highly regulated industries. But what we're also seeing is the services organizations are being demanded or forced into compliance because they're providing services to finance or healthcare or others. So now they don't just have to comply with one single industry, they might have to comply with multiples. And that's a really big challenge for these service organizations. We saw you see the impact of third-party risk and the importance of understanding your vendor's security compliance, and we see a lot of small to medium to large service provider, service industry, like legal and others, having to comply with all these different regulations that they're just not 100% clear on.
Yeah. And is that something that you see getting worse over the next several years, or is it stabilizing and people are getting a sense of their best practices? What's the direction of the market?
Well, I think that the understanding of the importance of it is going to, it's become mainstream. It's been part of the conversation. It's part of what the practice that the security team needs to understand and to operate under. So I think that part is there. I can't imagine that, regulations or compliance is going to reduce or relax, right?
Yeah.
So we see more and more frameworks, more and more regulations continuing to come out, whether it's at the federal, state, or industry level.
Yeah, it's actually getting quite tricky. I mean, just data protection. 21 states have different initiatives, so operating across the nation can be challenging. The insurance companies are changing their metrics because they're tired of paying people out. How much of that is impacting your business or your customers?
Insurance is driving a lot of the change within the customer environment because one, in order to get cybersecurity insurance, they need to have a certain level of cyber prevention or services to have been put in place. So we're seeing a lot of that drive behavior.
Yeah, we're seeing it too. In fact, one of the things we're seeing is insurance companies were all over SIMs for GRC. EDRs captured the whole endpoint. Now we're seeing insurance companies actually wake up to the idea that XDR actually has meaning besides the acronym, right? Sure. So that's a good thing. So let's talk about XDR. You walk into an enterprise, how aware are they of it? How do you position that? And why is Open XDR getting people to be attracted to your organization?
I think that 2 years ago when we first met and we went and talked to customers, do you know what XDR is?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The answer was typically no.
Yeah.
Now, as we walk the floor at RSA and you see the industry, notifications and messaging, it's out there, and it helps with the conversation.
Yeah.
And now it becomes a conversation not just about what does XDR mean to you, how can you potentially use it, but why is open XDR so much more important? How can we help you as a customer avoid the vendor lock-in, be able to leverage your existing investments that you have in place so that you don't have to go rip and replace things,
Yeah.
right? We're talking about the compliance, we're talking about the need for technology to be put in place. They don't want to have to go put more technology in place. They want to
Right.
get stuff that they have to work better. And XDR has proven to really do that for them.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to summarize it because we're seeing that from all the other speakers too. That's why we have this whole community event is that people are challenged by the need. They know need to change. They know need to do something different, but where do they start? And OpenXDR gives them the opportunity to listen and learn, right?
It does.
Trevor, is there a question I haven't asked you that I should have? Close it out here with something powerful.
What's a question you should have asked me?
I should have asked it. I haven't asked
you,
yet.
You always cover the basis. I think what's the result of OpenXDR and how is that really helping our customers? The really important components of this is it's a quick, easy change agent, right? The time for deployment, the time to see value is very short. And that's where we've really been able to help customers. And it's not this long, arduous process. It's going to take 12 months, 18 months to implement. We're talking, 30 days. We're providing value to the customers right away.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And that's what we know, right? The legacy SIM model took a team of people to build those rules for the opportunity that you're looking for. XDR almost magically presents a story. And it's now the team has to decide, is that story real? But it's a different way of looking at the problem.
Absolutely.
Trevor, that's what it's all about, real time. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate your conversation and sharing your thoughts. Folks, give it a big up. Thank you for Trevor Smith from Brite.
Thank you.